The geniuses over at Fox and Friends were talking about citizenship and what's required to get citizenship, and then they had a clever idea in the middle of that segment. I want you to listen to it and watch the question that they use as an example, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Let's face it, kids graduate from high school and they don't know squat. So there's at least one state that is suggesting if you want to pass and graduate from high school, you've got to pass the same 100-question test that we apply to immigrants who want to become American citizens.
Yes. I just don't understand how you can come up as an educator and ask yourself, well, we have to de-emphasize American history a little bit. So many people who are intelligent get straight A's. You ask them the most basic thing about American history, like who was fighting in the Civil War,
but
they don't
Brian,
know.
These questions are even more basic than that. For instance, here's one of the typical questions. What ocean is on the west coast of the United States? Who signs bills to become laws?
Well, that gets confusing.
Is this test multiple choice? That's what everyone's asking here. And when do we celebrate Independence Day?
Listen, not only, okay, you've got to answer those questions correctly to become a citizen of the United States. I think not only would it be great if high school students had to have a proficiency in America, but I think they should have a test before you vote, just so you know what you're
That'd be great.
Not bad.
Right? Right? I love how they said that everybody in the studio is asking, wait, is it multiple choice? Like, I get choices here, right? Did you notice the question they used for whether you have enough literacy about our government to be able to vote? What ocean is on the West Coast? And that would have to do with our government. How? Now, I know it's part of the immigration test. Okay, I might have picked a different example if you were going to go on and on about how you have to know about our government before you're allowed to vote. Now, here comes the much deeper irony. There used to be a literacy test in this country, and not that long ago. In fact, let me quote you the literacy test used in Louisiana in the 1960s, not 1860s, 1960s, okay? They would have African Americans take this test. It would have to be done in 10 minutes or less, and you would have to get a perfect score to be allowed to vote. And then they would have questions like this. Write every other word in the first line and print every third word in the same line, originally typed smaller and first line ended at comma, but capitalize the fifth word that you write. Gee, I wonder if they were done, if this was intended for them to fail. I can't quite tell. Here's one other question. Write right from the left to the right as you see it spelled here. It's possible. It's going to take you a little while to work through it, okay? So we had literacy tests, and the whole point was to make sure that African Americans didn't vote. Now, the great irony of this is that that's part of American history. And if the idiots at Fox and Friends actually knew anything about our government, our politics, and our history, they would have known that. And they would have known that this is something that was used to block people from voting, and that it was abhorrent, and that we changed that so that everybody had an equal right to vote. Instead, they turn around and use the same idea while saying, no one knows anything about American history. Am I right? Am I right?